And he waves to the Louisville faithful.
Well, it just took too much long time to develop. You had a receiver come up in the middle, not enough time for it to develop, and the pocket collapsed on the quarterback for the sack. West Virginia just does not look like a good downfield passing team. That's, you know, Rich has always been a great. He does not have a good downfield passing attack this year.
Brady into that breeze, which has died down a little bit. This is a pretty good high kick. Fair catch. Take a look at the field position, though, for Louisville at the 42-yard line. Like, this offense needs that kind of help. And Montrell Jones wisely takes the field position. They're going to call that down at the 43-yard line.
And that's been the storyline, too. Other than the good drive West Virginia had coming out of the half, they've had a lot of 3-and-outs. They have to punt from backed up, gives Louisville the ball midfield. They do a long drive. West Virginia gets the ball, has to do a 3 or 4 out, punt again. So Louisville always has the ball.
We're going to give Elvis Dumerville a half a sack. Look how far ahead he is of his nearest competitors.
I mean, he's putting up some phenomenal numbers. And I might add, too, he's also about ready to break an NCAA record for caused fumbles also.
Yep.
He sacks people, and he also causes fumbles.
He's got 7, and the record is 8. And they could be taking the big shot right here, but it's well covered by the Mountaineers. And Brom's going to have to try to get to the sidelines before they kill him. And he couldn't quite get it done. Good defense and pursuit that time by the Mountaineers, Mark Magro. Well, dadgummit, doesn't sound good when I say it. Bobby Bowden has Florida State in the national championship picture. Tonight they visit a Virginia Cavalier team looking to avenge a huge loss to the Seminoles last season. College football primetime presented by Polaroid on ESPN tonight at 7:45 Eastern. FSU Virginia also available in high def on ESPN HD. Call your cable operator or satellite provider today. For more information, just log on to ESPN.com. 2nd down and 9. Always a good move to give it to Bush, and he only got about a yard that time. Again, Magro, the sophomore, getting an opportunity to play in that middle linebacker position with Jay Henry taking a rest. Bush was being treated for some cramps during the West Virginia possession, and he's going to come out now.
Yeah, Louisville took a stab at a deep ball on 1st and 10. You saw how the game's being played out. There was no way they were going to throw the deep ball. West Virginia was so far back. They took a stab at it. That's why the middle passing game has been open so much, and that's why they have had so much success throwing the ball over the middle.
Empty backfield for Brom on 3rd and 8. 8 of 14 on 3rd downs, but Louisville's also popped a couple of 4th downs on that last drive. They pick up the blitz. There's the middle. Pass was deflected. That pass was tipped, and West Virginia got a 3-and-out they desperately had to have.
Now I'm anxious to see how they respond now offensively as they come in. And will they stay with Adam Bednarik or go to Pat White, the other quarterback on their team?
Take a look at Lorello there, who was, as always, right around the ball. Vaughn Rivers is the return man for the Mountaineers. Todd Flannery, mentioned earlier, he has had 1 punt blocked.
West Virginia got one last week against Syracuse. West Virginia blocked a punt that went for a touchdown.
Tandy Smith did that against Rutgers last week, and he's kind of creeping off the gunner position. Now he goes to block and close to hitting the punter. Pretty good kick. Rivers to 10. Rivers, that's a good return of 15 yards that time by Vaughn Rivers. Gives West Virginia decent field position at the 25-yard line. Well, coming up later, time permitting, we'll have the Thrifty Car Rental Postgame Report with John, Craig, and Aaron, featuring highlights and analysis from around the country. And a huge day. Think of some of the games that are being played right now, some of the rivalries that are being contested, and 5 matchups inside the top 25 today.
And as you mentioned on ABC tonight, Bobby Bowden got his 5-0 Seminoles going against Virginia up in Charlottesville.
That would be ESPN, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say
okay.
Our sister station, ESPN?
We're all a happy family, but we got to make sure we get them on the right direction. Yeah, I imagine you'll probably find a way to watch that.
I imagine so.
You dragged us to watch Tommy's game the other night.
That's right. Tommy had a big win for Clemson.
4-yard gain that time for Slayton. He's been impressive. Tell me what you think of Steve Slayton.
Well, what he does is give them a chance to have big plays with their running attack. Now, this team needs some speed and big plays out of their wide receivers, or they're not going to develop as an offense. But what Slayton does give them is a chance to get 15 and 20-yard slashes with that running attack instead of 6 and 7 that they've gotten out of their other backs. So that's one more piece of the puzzle. But the passing attack, again, from what I've seen, is not quite there.
He has 95 yards on the ground today and a touchdown catch. Hit as he throws, and that is nearly intercepted. He tried to sell that one, did Rod Council. but no take.
Yep, Bednarik takes a slap in the mouth right here as the pressure gets to him right now as he comes up, and here's his slap right in the boy. Took it to the ground, and again, missed the slant, wide open slant. Pressure.
Montavious Stanley. Funny thing is with him, with Stanley, Coach, he has 4 sacks. Normally that would be, wow, 4 sacks. But again, with Elvis Stewartville, 15 and a half.
Yeah,
this just doesn't look good.
Distant second.
3rd down 6. Actually, he probably got a half a sack on that last one there. Under pressure, got his man. That's a 1st down. That is Renaud. And let's get an update on Michigan and Penn State. We'll go to New York and John Saunders.
Taco Bell update. Alan Zamitis. Watch him come in and strip the ball away from Chad Henne. Just takes it and says, I'm off. 2nd fumble recovery for a touchdown for him this year, 35 yards. Then on a botched extra point, they wind up with 2.
All right, John. Well,
Joe Pa is on his way.
How about those 2 coaches at the top of the wins list just doing nothing but winning so far this year?
Well, you don't really do your best coaching until you're over 75 years old.
Is that the deal?
That's the key, is just keep on going till you get 75, then you get a lot better. Of course, you got to have some of them 18-year-olds that can play, and
well,
Joe Pa's got some of those.
Brandon Sharp on the stop. Yeah, how about that new approach? He's always been so careful about that, and he said, okay, you know what?
We're going to spread. Well, you know what happened. You know, he did that 2 years ago, but he was spreading out fullbacks and tight ends.
Right.
Now he's got some sleek wideouts to spread out, and they're moving that ball. And Michael Robson played only one position helps.
Bednarik forced to throw that one away. Good pressure that time from Louisville defensively. It's like Zach Anderson chasing him down there, and brings up 3rd down and 7. And every 3rd down for West Virginia, as you see the score for yourself, is critical. Well, tomorrow night on ESPN, we have Texans and Seahawks. Monday Night Football at 9 Eastern on ABC. Join Al Michaels and John Madden as the Rams head to Indy to take on the only unbeaten team in the NFL, Peyton Manning and the 5-0 Colts. And there's the Rams quarterback. He's done a great job for them. And what a fabulous job he did for Don Nealon here in West Virginia, Mark Bulger.
I don't think West Virginia had a better quarterback, a greater talented quarterback than Mark Bulger. They've had Hostetler. They've had some great ones, too.
Heavy pressure. They go to the bubble screen. Tipped around. Caught the other way, but not for the 1st down. After all of that, it winds up in the hands of a lineman, Ryan Stanchek. Well, I thought that was going to be picked, and that might have been a near death blow for the Mountaineers.
Let's check it out now. Here's a throw. Adams throwing the ball. Deflected up in the air.
Brandon Johnson there. How about Stanchek?
How about Stanchek? That's an offensive lineman's dream. Here's the tip. Here's the pick. It's up in the air. It's the immaculate reception.
Well,
right there. Not exactly.
That happened not far from here.
Not far from here.
All right, they're going for it here. 4th down and a couple. Last play of the quarter. Bednarik's got room. Throws to the middle, and his man was covered. The pass was tipped incomplete. I thought he might have brought that down to run it. The fans want interference, but because the ball was tipped, they're not going to get it. Trying to hit the tight end, Michael Villagrana, who's replaced the injured Josh Bailey. And Louisville will take over on downs with great field position and only 14 seconds left in the 3rd quarter.
Tough play. Everybody was covered. Louisville did a great job. They know they're going to pass. A little play action trying to get somebody open, but everybody had somebody closely contested. You would hope maybe Adam would have had some room to run for 4 or 5, but they also had people in his face. Great job by Louisville right there, not to let one slip up on them. Now, again, the time and pressure back on the Mountaineers.
I wonder if they take a deep shot here. Nope. They go with Bush, trying to get to the corner. He does, and he will get about 8 solid yards to pad his total as he gets to close to 130 yards. And we are finished with our 3rd quarter. ABC Sports presentation of college football will return after this message and a word from our ABC station. Well, somewhere between West Virginia and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, it's a town called Moon, and you get a good look at an absolutely gorgeous site here in Morgantown, West Virginia. These folks are happy. They're from Louisville, and their team is in front 24-7.
That would be Moon Township.
Oh, you're absolutely right. 2nd down and 4 for Louisville. And they're just going to keep going to Bush, and why not, as he fights to cross for 1st down yardage to the 43-yard line. Well, Louisville has rebounded from a very difficult loss, so it appears, Trenny.
Yes, they did. Well, they lost handedly to South Florida earlier this season, and Coach Petrino told us he was pretty much shocked after that loss, but he tried to be positive. What he was most surprised about was the way his team reacted. He didn't have to ask for anyone to step up. He didn't have to talk to his seniors. His younger guys like Michael Bush, stepped up, took the reins, and said, hey, we need to rebound from this. We were picked to win the Big East. We can still win the Big East, guys. And
they certainly can, Trenny. Thank you very much. They go to Arrutia to about the 35-yard line. Is going to bring up 2nd down and 8. Now, who is playing University of South Florida next week? That would be none other than, as they call them here, the Ears.
The West Virginia Ears. And again, we said in our pregame, again, that if West Virginia were to lose this game, they better get back up because they've got South Florida. And now South Florida, having lost to Pittsburgh today,
well, they were losing.
Yeah. Now, I keep saying they have it. I don't think we have a final on that. If they lose that game, I keep trying to end that game, and I don't think it's ended yet. This thing is still wide open.
And Bush gets it right, not quite to the marker. I think he had it for a moment, and it was pushed back by the interior of the defense, plus Eric Wicks coming up from his strong safety position. So we're likely looking at 3rd down and 1. What has happened in the Big East today? Rutgers pounded Syracuse, and look at that. Dave Wannstedt and Pitt stopped South Florida 31-17. And here's a bit of a surprise right here.
That's a shocker. That is a shocker right there. Cincinnati beating Connecticut, which was undefeated, 21-10, undefeated so far, and that was incredible.
Well, they go for it here on 3rd and 1 with Bush up the middle, and I don't think he made it based on the officials. Let's go to New York and John Saunders.
Penn State had grabbed an 18-10 lead over Michigan, but Chad Henne finally connects with Mario Manningham. Perfect pass, great catch. They go for the 2-point conversion and get it to tie the game at 18 apiece with just under 8 minutes to go in regulation. Penn State had scored 15 points in 17 seconds, including Alan Zamitis fumble recovery. Actually stripped the ball from Chad Henne and went in for the touchdown. And that's why they're tied at 18 apiece as Penn State looks to remain unbeaten overall and atop of the Big Ten.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't know how most people feel about it, but as a college football fan, I am happy that Penn State is back.
Yeah, I really do. I mean, Joe Paterno has done so much for college football, not just Penn State, but for college football. And the success that he's had year after year, decade after decade, then after losing 4 of his last 5 seasons, and really getting a lot of heat from even some people within their own institution, saying, I can still coach, I still know how to coach, I hadn't forgotten. And he has. He knows. He knew what he needed. It just took some time to get those kids in place.
Adai taken off the field. It brings up 4th down and short. And why not? If you're Louisville, they've made 2 already in this half.
And you got a big guy that weighs 250 in the backfield that falls forward for a half a yard.
They're trying to put this game away. This is the 2nd time they've gone to the throw and knocked away. West Virginia will hold the play made by McCann. Well, they got away with that once, but this time West Virginia was there.
Yeah, I mean, you watch from the end zone here. They're trying to get something big out of a 4th and inches. Got an open receiver. Just laid it a little bit too softly. Nice play by West Virginia.
And that, by the way, isn't knocked down. That goes to the house in Louisville, breaks this open. Gets the stop on 4th down against the Cardinals. Now, what can they do offensively? This is pretty much their last stand, down by 3 scores, 12:57 to go, but Derrick remains in.
Well, it starts with just positive plays. This team has not been getting big plays out of their wide receivers in regard to catching the football.
We talked about how these quarterbacks can run, and they like to do it, but they get it across to the 35-yard line. That's about it. You saw Doomerville come in from the back. Johnson, who's played a very, very good game. He lost his starting job following South Florida. Coaches said they took a good hard look at the team after that loss, which was such a shock to everybody in college football. And they put a few guys down, but it looks like Johnson's working his way back in.
He has. Other people, too, also looked themselves in the mirror and decided there were some other things they had to do.
And Bednarik broke a couple of tackles. He actually gained yardage and nearly got to the 1st down. Got it across the 40 to the 43. Johnson is there, and he got away that time from Elvis Doomerville.
Now watch Doomerville here. You're going to see his explosive. Look where he gets his hands. Great quickness, 5'10 and a half, 5'11", 250. On his arms, keeps himself moving. He's got a fast motor, folks. He never stops going to the football. That's the reason he can also sack quarterbacks, cause fumbles, make a lot of tackles for losses.
They go to the sneak with Bednarik. And it looks like he is right on that line at the 44-yard line.